Good afternoon. It gives me great pleasure and is my sincere honor to welcome you to the Baldwin School's 131st commencement. We are here to celebrate the class of 2019, an extraordinary group of 61 girls who have brought their spirit and joy to Baldwin each and every day, and who will now carry that beyond our gates with their unique vision for making the world a better place. Thank you for joining our community on this special day. I am pleased to now invite Mansour Salahuddin, Vice President of the Islamic Society of Chester County, to open our ceremony. Please stand and remain standing following his invocation to sing America the Beautiful.
Thank you, Marissa. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to celebrate the graduating class of 2019. And as we send off our young leaders into the next phase of their lives, understand that this graduation is not a destination. It is merely a milestone, which then leads to another journey in the next phase of their lives. Life is a marathon, it is not a sprint. And there will be many milestones such as this. And let us have the wisdom of understanding a long-term perspective that encompasses the entire lifetime, and not just its introduction in the first 18 years of our lives. And in the end of that, we do not have to memorize a passage or learn a lesson or remember anything if we have always spoken the truth. Let us always choose the correct path in this journey as the path divides: giving over greed, unison over division, justice over injustice, loyalty over betrayal, love over hatred, gentleness over severity, sensitivity over callousness, healing over harming, sincerity over selfishness, benevolence over malevolence, understanding over prejudice, and inclusion over exclusion, alertness over slumber, and humility over arrogance. And these are the only tools we need to go through the journey of life. As Dr. Martin Luther King once said, "I have decided to stick with love because hatred is a great burden to bear." Thank you very much.
Please be seated. Today we honor our generous, caring, and oh so passionate class of 2019 and celebrate the enduring strength of Baldwin's all-girls community. We feel the power of our school's legacy and take great pride as individuals and as an institution in the graduates seated before us, as well as our underclassmen, who are here to cheer on their big sisters, their role models. Of course, Baldwin's legacy, as represented by this class of purple, would not be possible with so many of you. So I'll start with heartfelt thanks to all the members of the Baldwin family whose influence I see each day and who've made a lasting impact on our graduates. To our Board of Trustees, thank you for providing the strategic guidance and support that is so critical for our school. You each give selflessly of your time, expertise, and resources throughout this year and for many years until now. Your commitment to Baldwin's mission and its girls makes an enduring difference, and on a personal level, makes me very grateful. On behalf of the entire school, please accept my profound thanks. To our inspired and inspiring faculty and staff, all year I watch you imagine new and improved ways to challenge our girls' thinking, to help them understand the world around them with empathy and vision, and to nurture their voice, build their confidence, and prepare them for any challenge they'll face. Your passion for giving our girls what they need in and out of class is unparalleled, as is the energy and spirit you bring to campus every day. Thank you for always going above and beyond, and for modeling a true love of learning that ensures Baldwin remains the forward-thinking educational institution in which we take such great pride. This class of purple is prepared to make their mark on the world because of you. Finally, on behalf of the entire school, and in particular this class of 2019, my thanks to the parents, grandparents, and family members here today to celebrate the final step in your girls' Baldwin journey. For each of you, our partnership in your daughter's education has required sacrifice, commitment, and a steadfast belief in Baldwin. Thank you for supporting our teachers and trusting us to shape your girls into the amazing graduates we see today. Young women whose empathy, creativity, and fresh ideas will make a lasting difference wherever they head next. You made it possible for your daughters to be their best selves, and I know each one of them is deeply grateful for your love, guidance, and unwavering support. Now to our graduates, this funny and creative, kind and selfless, bright and passionate class of purple. As individuals in a cohort, you have stood out as role models, not just for our upper school, but for our entire community, who admires your curiosity and sense of humor, your willingness to take risks, and your love of learning, and most especially, your boundless empathy and compassion. There was that time in English class when you listened so enthusiastically to each other's graphic novel memoirs. One group huddled around a box of tissues, another group giggling wildly as you passionately engaged each other's lives and scholarship. This was your love of learning in action. There were the moments when you pushed yourself to try new things and take risks, including when one of you jumped in to serve as a forklift operator, unloading a truck for service day. I will neither confirm nor deny whether you had the appropriate forklift training or if you even had your driver's license by that point. Or freshman year, when one of your classmates ordered a 1 Newton cheeseburger at the local McDonald's to test the real-world implications of the metric system on the quarter pounder with cheese. And when you proudly sung our alma mater in the King of Prussia Mall during senior skip day, in what I understand were some pretty awesome makeovers. You should all take great pride in your collective sense of humor, your community spirit, and your boundless confidence. But what makes me most proud is the time, care, and dedication you each took to making Baldwin an inclusive and supportive environment, not just during events like building bridges, but each and every day for everyone in our community. It's when you stop to hug lower schoolers in the blue passageway because you see their smiles light up seeing you. And when you gave a shout out to a teacher after you hit a home run, as you circled the bases and saw her cheering for you in the stands. And how you've supported each other and underclassmen too, through moments of incredible personal loss, caring for fellow Baldwin Bears like true sisters. You've all gone out of your way to help someone else, with hugs and care, murmurs of encouragement and support, no matter what else you had going on. In short, you've impressed us all by how you've shown an appreciation for and an understanding of others in the most heartfelt ways imaginable. This approach to school and life has led to your individual and collective successes in the classroom, in labs, in the studio, on the soccer field, on the Simpson Center stage, during service projects and internships too. But these moments of heartfelt empathy mean more than you may realize. It's not just about the camaraderie it nurtured along the way and impact you had at Baldwin. It's also about how your compassion and selflessness will help you be better leaders, citizens, and community members wherever you head next. Consider that the U.S. Army's Field Guide on Leadership, a manual used across the military to benchmark some of the best leadership training in the country, lists empathy as one of the most critical elements that define a good leader. Indeed, and I quote, "the ability to understand another person's point of view, identify with another's emotions, and take personal action to improve the situation of those around you, friend or foe, is considered essential for an effective leader, whether in the military or any other organization or facet of life." Studies show that having empathy helps executives build better teams, predicting what their people will need, more effectively inspiring loyalty and communicating with others. It helps leaders increase employee satisfaction and create a safe and respectful workplace. And it will help you guide and mentor others, and even give you an advantage during negotiations. Which is all to say that you, our class of purple, are even more prepared than you know. Your Baldwin education gave you all the skills you need to succeed. And the powerful empathy that you so clearly demonstrate every day provides you a lasting advantage, no matter where you head next, no matter what passion you pursue, no matter what leadership role you assume. It will help you bring the sort of positive effect you've had here at Baldwin to every community you join, and no doubt lead, in the years to come. It's why I speak for every member of the Baldwin community when I say how proud I am to see you all as individuals and a cohort go out into the world, and how much I look forward to seeing the impact you will have. You're now Baldwin graduates, after all. Congratulations to our extraordinary and empathetic class of 2019. It is my pleasure to now introduce our student speaker, Alexandra Phelan. Lexi joined Baldwin in kindergarten, making her part of Baldwin's 13-year club. In other words, she spent most of her life in a Baldwin tunic or kilt, and in that time has left an indelible mark on our community. Her classmates describe her as fearless and funny, devoted to changing the world, and compassionate in all that she does. Lexi's teachers and coaches talk about her positive energy, school spirit, work ethic, and team-first attitude, describing the selfless ways she helps classmates, teammates, and younger Baldwin Bears too. Whether on the soccer field, leading our award-winning Hourglass newspaper, or teaching lower schoolers science, she is always ready to motivate others by offering guidance and support. Even as her accomplishments range far and wide, from playing in the elite club National Soccer League, helping our debate club, serving as captain of Baldwin's indoor track, and her very serious humanities work, what stands out is her risk-taking, her passion for social justice, her ability to make you laugh as much as she makes you think, and the natural way Lexi shines intellectually and is completely approachable at the same time. Lexi's classmates selected her Today's speaker, because this trusted friend of theirs has the ability to challenge everyone's thinking and lift up those around her. Because her spirit, compassion, and love of learning make her a true Baldwin girl. Please welcome Lexi Phelan to the podium.
Thank you, Dr. Porges, for your kind introduction. Welcome, families, friends, faculty, and trustees. Time has come to pass, as it always does, and now we are standing in the threshold of our future. The door to this church, also the door to the rest of our lives. Isn't it something? I walked through Baldwin's doors for the first time a cool 13 years ago, a paralyzingly shy child, and here I am today. The changing of the seasons, whether that be from winter to spring or spring to summer, has always felt particularly introspective, even more so with this little graduation hanging over our heads. Yet the Baldwin experience has in many ways eluded my description. Not for lack of trying, but instead a lack of adequate language. How can one give justice to the beautiful, chaotic mess that was the class of 2019's journey through Baldwin? Allow me to attempt. On my first day of kindergarten, I was promptly taught that Baldwin girls write their first and last names on their papers, and they surely don't write either in all capital letters. Baldwin girls take pride in their work and expect their peers to do the same. While that first learning experience was rather forceful, the relationship with learning Baldwin instilled within us was one of collaboration and connection. In our early years, we were never lectured. We read and discussed in ways that let the material come to life off the pages, dancing before our eyes a whole world of knowledge that's ours to understand. I think I can speak for us all when I say we are eternally indebted to our incredible teachers for everything they've given to us in our time here. I treasure the academic lessons we've received over the years, but what I know I'll remember most vividly are the intangibles that happened every day throughout campus. We learned theorems and chronologies, but perhaps more importantly, we learned how to dance the Cotton Eye Joe with precision and grace enviable by the principal dancer of the New York City Ballet. We learned that everywhere is a place to sleep if you try hard enough, and that no temperature, no ice-covered middle field, no force mortal nor divine is a match for the will to have a fire drill. We learned that for all the darkness that the winter months bring, there is a beauty in a later sunrise spreading light behind the residence as if to say, yeah, this is the place. We learned that no matter how scary and turbulent the world outside is, we can find comfort in the never-changing smell of the middle school hallway. For those unacquainted, I would describe it as a unique combination of hormones, angst, and Bath & Body Works. We learned that the excitement of the post-spring break race to the finish is tangible in the school's air. We learned that every year summer feels like a million light years away, until this year, our last, when all of a sudden time moved far too fast for comfort. We learned to love and live and grow with some of the most brilliant, compassionate, and hilarious girls I could ever hope to suffer through my early teens with. And for everything you have taught me, I am forever thankful. It's hard to imagine what my life will look like without coming to Baldwin every day. I'm usually one of the first in the lounge at the ripe hour of 7:30 ante-meridium, so I get to wake up to the hum of the morning commute. Slowly but surely, bodies shuffle in and take their place on the couches and tables and floor, and sometimes walls if we're particularly pressed for space, as tales of weekends and extracurriculars and current events are shared at a steadily increasing volume until 8:10 comes and goes, and we make our way to homeroom to start our day. For some, the lounge is a bit too much at that early hour, but for that, we love them nonetheless. This grade is electric. For some, this means telling jokes and rallying the troops during the many long bus rides that came with class trips. For others, that meant taking on less public but still vitally important roles throughout the school, organizing and planning and moving and shaking and keeping the rest of us upright most of the time. I feel bad for everyone who has to follow in our footsteps. We don't just dance, we choreograph the whole routine. We don't just play soccer, we break records. We don't just take advanced sciences, we perform groundbreaking research. We don't just write, we preach. Our future isn't just bright, it's blinding. Underclassmen, treasure your time. Remember how it feels to scream sing your favorite Disney soundtrack. Remember the way the school looks in the soft early morning before it's been touched by packs of teenagers. Remember the advice of your teachers and peers. They may be some of the wisest people you'll ever meet. I thought I had all the time in the world, but standing here today, I regret to say I'm already grasping for some memories. Resist the urge to live life always looking for the next weekend. There's a strange beauty in tackling the beasts that are pre-calc and bio together as a class. Try to find it. Days can feel like months, weeks can feel like years, and the college process ahead can get hard. Sometimes if you don't laugh, you'll cry. Luckily for you, you're surrounded by a living, breathing, 14-year-long stand-up comedy special, your classmates. Remember that. Take pictures and videos. Even if they don't end up on your Snapchat story, you're going to want them more than you can comprehend right now. Ring Day and Banner Day and every other tradition are rightfully meaningful, but what makes them so important are the friendships forged in every moment in between. Don't take those moments for granted. If I may break from my bravado for a moment, I won't invoke a quote from Homer's Odyssey or any Shakespeare play we've read, nor even a Merriam-Webster definition of some word meant to summarize all the emotions we're feeling right now. Instead, I want to offer my sincere, honest thanks for telling the pre-K Go-Gurt story so many times that I know it by heart, even though I wasn't here to witness it. For staging a wedding, complete with flower girls and ring bearers on the playground in 4th grade, because why not? For declaring to a gym packed with parents, classmates, teachers, and friends during the 5th grade moving up ceremony that you wanted to be an orthopedic brain surgeon. Not knowing that that is by definition impossible, only caring that you were determined enough to make it happen anyway. For feeding a stuffed cat toy hot dogs and documenting it on Instagram as a French class project. For making me laugh so hard I cry everywhere we've been, from Puerto Rico to Canada, all the way to Italy, and right here in Bryn Mawr. There is no event with this class that is not an event. For singing the song that gets on everybody's nerves at the end of every field trip until an age where we were definitely old enough to know better. For joining this community, whether that be at age 6 or age 16, and leaving each and every one of us in this room better than when we started this journey. For letting me be nothing less than my full, complete self every day when I walk through the north door without fear and without question. As you grow older, remember that compassion. Don't let the harshness of others make you unkind. Find strength in your vulnerability. Make everyone you meet as lucky as I've been to get to know you, the real you, the brilliant, show-stopping, spectacular person you are. Now, to my friends turned to family, congratulations. May your road wind the ways you imagine as we leave here today, and may we find ourselves together many years from now, happy and healthy and with many stories to tell. Thank you.
Joining us today to provide our keynote address is a renowned academic, an expert on multicultural community building, and a Baldwin graduate whose passion for service and learning has translated into a high-impact career in academia, in her religious community, and here at Baldwin too. Dr. Crystal Lucky is Associate Dean of Baccalaureate Studies at Villanova University's College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, where she is also Associate Professor of English. Since 1996, she has taught courses in 19th and 20th century African American literature, including slave and spiritual narratives, the Harlem Renaissance, and the work of Toni Morrison. She previously served as the director of the university's Africana Studies program. Dr. Lucky has authored numerous articles on African American women writers and, most recently, published a much-lauded biography of Reverend Charlotte Riley, a female black preacher born into slavery in South Carolina. Crystal also serves as a diversity consultant for public and private schools, helping enhance curriculum and support multicultural community building, and is founder and pastor of the Sword of the Spirit Church in Lansdowne. She holds a PhD in English from the University of Pennsylvania, a master's in African American Studies from Yale, and a BA in English, also from the University of Pennsylvania. Of course, we are most excited by the fact that Crystal is a Baldwin alumna from the class of 1982, a class of blue, and that she is an active member of the Board of Trustees and returns to campus often to lecture to our current students. I am honored to introduce Dr. Crystal Lucky.
To Dr. Porges, to the board chairman, Christopher Marr, and the Board of Trustees, to the wonderful faculty, staff, family, friends, and most of all, to you, the wonderful class of 2019, good afternoon. To say that I am both humbled and honored to be here today with you is an understatement. I am thrilled. I love Baldwin. The memories of my childhood, my youth and adolescence are staged in the halls of the Baldwin School. I can still see our book bags lined along the floor of the passageway. I can still taste the hot apple cider after the winter holiday chorus concert. The smell of cut grass in the fall signals for me the beginning of school. I am immediately transported in my tunic and loafers to the lawn outside the schoolhouse. And when I hear classical music, I am seated at the piano with Elizabeth Keller at my right side, or I'm in a voice lesson with Janet Abel. The teachers and staff created a safe, welcoming, and intellectually rigorous environment in which my classmates and I could grow and develop. I was a B-flat. I was a wannabe actor. I was a decent lacrosse player. I was a really bad visual artist. I was a leader in student government, an excellent student of literature, and like you, a lover of my friends. This school, along with my mother and my father and my brother, and my church, formed the foundation of my life. It shaped the way I learned to think and empowered me to envision myself as a future agent of change in the world. I find it deeply satisfying and very hopeful that even though Baldwin has remained in step with current educational trends, helping at times to set the standard that other schools try to keep up with, when I return to campus, I sense the same feeling that I did when I was a student. Baldwin continues to prepare young girls and young women to be responsible, intelligent, and bold. To the faculty and staff, and especially to Dr. Porges, I wish to extend my heartfelt gratitude to you for keeping Baldwin grounded in its traditions, but relevant to the world in which it is situated. Now to my dear class of 2019. 37 years ago, on Friday, June 4th, I sat, like you, ready to receive my diploma in Bryn Mawr College's Goodhart Hall. I had worked hard. My family and I had engaged with the Baldwin community for 11 years, and I was satisfied that I had done my best. I was ready to move ahead, and yet I felt a little apprehension. I was preparing to go to Penn that fall, but I was curious about what it was going to be like. Class of 2019, I'm wondering if you're feeling like I was 37 years ago. You and I have talked about Toni Morrison together, so I know a little bit about how you think. You're smart, and you're observant, and you're compassionate. But I'm wondering if you're convinced that you're ready for what's out there, and if there's a little part of you that's a tiny bit nervous. After all, your parents and your friends and your Baldwin family have been there to nurture you every step of the way, to reassure you. And well, now you're leaving. You're moving on to something new. In addition to being overjoyed that you chose me for your speaker, I have been looking forward to spending a little time with you because 37 years later, I can look at you in the eye almost as if I'm talking to my younger self, and I can tell you, you're ready. So while I've got your attention, younger self, there are 3 important messages, principles that I want to share with you. The first I call the principle of next steps. So I just told you you're ready, but I didn't quite tell you the whole story. You're actually not ready for everything. You're not ready for the rest of your life. You're not even entirely ready for the next phase of your life, but you are ready to take the next step. You're ready to tackle freshman year of college or to start your gap year, whichever you've chosen. The principle of next steps, as I define it, asks you to tackle one task at a time. So while I appreciate the sentiment behind the phrase, today is the first day of the rest of your life, its implications, in my opinion, are quite daunting. When you hear the rest of your life, I'm sure you think, really? Like, you expect me to know what I want to do with the rest of my life? You want me to know what I'm supposed to do in college? You want me to know about graduate school? You want me to know about my career? So no, slow down. That's why I really like the principle of next steps. For as I envision it, it says that you're prepared to take the next step along the path that you've chosen. Baldwin has prepared you for freshman English. It's prepared you for intro to sociology, calculus 1, gen bio, intermediate French, Africana studies, gender and women's studies, whatever it is that you're going to pick for freshman year. Baldwin has prepared you to navigate a 6-week study abroad program, to work with Habitat for Humanity, or to take a design class to explore your interest in architecture. Baldwin, with the help of your family, has prepared you to move into your residence hall, to negotiate with your roommate about room decor, and to meet your advisor and to plan out your next year. For the last couple of weeks, we've been looking at pictures of the Mount Everest climbers, log-jammed as they approach the summit. A record number of people, unfortunately, have died on the mountain this year. Initially, I thought that the victims were falling down the mountain because of the overcrowding. But when I read the news stories, I learned that there are many reasons for the deaths. Some reports say that the standards for allowing climbers to proceed are not rigorous enough. Many have paid the exorbitant fee of upwards of $60,000 to climb, when in fact, as climbers, they weren't completely ready for the journey. Life happens in steps, in stages, in seasons. Each experience will prepare you for the next. One class will build on another. One leadership opportunity will prepare you for the next. So you're not ready for senior year, not yet. But as you envision your future and make exciting plans, the principle of next steps will help you tackle the future one piece, one step at a time. It's the best way to move forward when you're facing a challenge. And as a piece of advice, when you get into the work world, it's also the best way to end a meeting. Take a minute, review what you've discussed and planned, and identify the next 2 or 3 steps to help everyone move forward. Next steps helps you face the big picture, but it keeps you from being overwhelmed. The second principle that I want to share with you, my younger self, is that of forgiveness. I am certain that people have been telling you how important it is to forgive ever since you heard about the concept in pre-K. How you've got to love one another and forgive those who have hurt you. The problem is that rarely does anyone tell us how to do it. So I want to offer you a little help. The principle of forgiveness is not a one and done activity. Forgiveness is an ongoing process. It has to be, because the triggers that reignite the pain from memories of the incident or series of unfair, unjust, evil occurrences continue to surface and resurface. They show up in your brain unannounced, uninvited, and ill-mannered like bad dinner guests. And then, as Toni Morrison describes for us in Beloved, our brains accept those nasty memories greedily. We don't have the good sense, or maybe we don't have the ability to tell the memories, no thank you, I'm full, I don't want any more. 37 years into the future, I'm here to tell you that he is going to break your hearts, no really, into a million pieces. And I'm here to tell you that she is going to steal your ideas at work and then claim them as her own. Betrayal is going to come from the most intimate places, but the act of forgiveness, which must be ignited and reinitiated in response to unwanted triggers, must be and has to begin with you. As you go forward in life, unforgiveness will increasingly become the thing that stands between you and your own inner peace. So if you have to forgive 7 times, go ahead and do it. More than likely, you're going to have to forgive 70 times, or even 70 times 7. Go ahead, do it. Forgive to maintain your own mental health, to be at peace with yourself, and to show others around you that real forgiveness is possible. Forgiveness keeps the wrinkles off your face. And while I know you're not worried about it right now, trust me, 37 years into the future, you will be. And forgiveness helps to regulate your blood pressure. And I know you're not worried about that right now, but 37 years into the future, you will be. And most importantly, forgiveness keeps anyone else from having control over your emotions and your actions. When you choose to enact that principle of forgiveness, you protect yourself and you win. Finally, as you go forward, my precious younger self, whenever possible, apply the principle of doing for one what you wish you could do for all. This past academic year, Villanova administered the Clifton Strengths Assessment to all incoming freshmen to help them discover what they naturally do best, and to learn how to develop their greatest strengths and to improve their self-awareness and give them a vocabulary to describe themselves and their abilities. Faculty, staff, and advisors were invited to take the test as well to help students interpret their results and identify activities where they might engage and further develop their strengths. My top 5 strengths are, as Dr. Porges guessed it, empathy, input, connectedness, individualization, and harmony. When I got my results back, I felt like a hippie flower child. I mean, empathy, connectedness, and harmony, really? But actually, the results made perfect sense to me. As a teacher and a pastor, I have spent my entire adult life focused on helping others. I have devised teaching strategies for helping my students who might not immediately grasp complex concepts. I've reached out to people in need of assistance and redemption. I've advocated for those who have needed a second chance. I've given students an incomplete rather than giving them an F to give them time to make it over the finish line. And when I became an associate dean, I was super excited to break down walls and barriers to further help students and their families, particularly those in distress. But as an administrator, I'm also tasked with the challenge of upholding policies and procedures meant to bring order to daily, monthly, and yearly operations. Theoretically, policies help to level the playing field. So it stands to reason then if everyone follows the same policy, there will be fairness all around. But the problem is, as you and I both know, the playing field never has been and never will be level. Inevitably, we all have to face the occasional exception. What do you do with the student who needs an extension but has asked for it after the deadline stated on the syllabus? What do you do with the person who has broken a rule because of ignorance and not malintent? There's no need to say that you're never going to confront exceptions. You will. In fact, often exceptions help to shape future iterations of a policy or a standard. What you'll need instead is a framework for how to deal with exceptions, whether they'll be with your future employees, with your children, not yet, defendants who may appear in your courtroom, or patients who may come to your practice but can't afford to pay. In other words, consider the ways that you will use what we might call your discretion to handle the exceptions. Applying the principle of doing for one what you wish you could do for all has helped me make some very difficult decisions, particularly when I've wanted to intervene in overwhelmingly huge problems. For example, I hate rudeness. And while I can't stop it universally, I can control how I treat individuals with whom I come in contact, those I know and those I don't, regardless of how they treat me. I live believing that the way we treat one person may change his or her mind about the next person that they meet, and that my interaction with one person just might have a ripple effect. My husband demonstrated this lesson a couple of weeks ago. We had just finished eating lunch at a diner. When we went to the counter to pay our bill, he told the cashier to include the bills of 2 separate patrons who were each dining alone, but not to tell them that their bill had been paid until after we had left the restaurant. When we left, I asked him why had he chosen those 2 people in particular. He said that he had noticed both men were wearing VFW patches, indicating that they were veterans of foreign wars. Rather than simply thanking them for their service, he wanted them to leave the restaurant knowing that someone had noticed them in a concrete and tangible way. Today marks the 75th anniversary of D-Day, when Allied troops landed on the beaches of Normandy, France, to ultimately defeat the Nazis. Celebrations all over Europe are extolling the incredible heroism of those brave soldiers who risked their lives for others. American military members continue to sacrifice their lives so that we can enjoy the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And yet, every day, 22 American veterans commit suicide. My husband knows he can't help them all, but he can show kindness to one. Perhaps kindness shown to that one person will give him or her strength to press forward another day. The principle of doing for one what you wish you could do for all will help you approach the exceptions in your life and allow you to respond to what speaks to you. At this time of year, educators enjoy the bittersweet joy of saying goodbye to our graduating students. And our hope for you, for us, is that you graduates will go out there and change the world. Just the way that the B-flats told us, we hope that you'll do it for good. You can't do it all at once, but you can, bit by bit, encounter by encounter. So, my younger self, I want you to know that you're ready. You're ready to find the path and the purpose that works for you. For each of you, it's going to be different. Your seasons and your stages will come to you differently in the times designed for you. But the strategies and tools that you have acquired during your years at Baldwin will help you move forward with confidence and strength. We'll be here if you need us, and you're gonna need us. But you're ready. You're ready to take the next step. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Lucky, for those inspirational remarks. I now have the pleasure of welcoming to the podium Christopher Marr, the chair of Baldwin's Board of Trustees and a proud father of 3 Baldwin girls, Madeline, who graduated 2 years ago and just finished her sophomore year at Princeton, McKaylee, who is a member of today's graduating class of Purple, and Campbell, who will be a senior next year. They are joined today by his wife, Kathleen, a longtime Baldwin enthusiast, and their son, Max.
ABC, 1, 2, 3, do, re, mi, baby you, and me. As I sat today listening to the esteemed speakers, I really was paying attention, honestly. But my mind started to wander. It's a warm afternoon in a dimly lit church, and it wandered to the iconic Jackson 5 song that is now stuck in my brain, and I hate to tell you, is probably now stuck in all of yours. But the reason it's stuck in my brain is because the human brain processes things more easily and retains information more completely when it comes in sets of 3. And so today I have 3 thoughts for you that I hope by pairing them together, or that's wrong, by having them together in a set of 3, you will remember them long after this beautiful day ends. The 3 thoughts I want to share with you are J.J. Watt, the gong, and senior goggles. J.J. Watt, the gong, senior goggles. J.J. Watt is a humanitarian and a professional football player for the Houston Texans. He was asked to give the commencement speech at his alma mater, the University of Wisconsin in Madison. And about a month before the ceremony, they asked him if he wouldn't mind sharing his prepared remarks with them so that they could make sure they were consistent with the theme of their commencement, as well as put them on the teleprompter for him. JJ was taken a bit aback and said, no, I just planned on ad-libbing. I was going to just share what the Spirit moved me. University of Wisconsin said, nope, not going to be doing that. So unfortunately, he had to type out his remarks, and he said, in hindsight, he felt like it wasn't his best and that he would have been much better if he had just followed his passion and said, no, I'm just going to speak from the top of my mind. Well, unfortunately, the Baldwin School failed to ask me a month ago whether I would like to have my prepared remarks typed up and put in front of me here, so I'm winging this. Basically with some thoughts I formed on the drive over here and while I was sitting here listening to everybody talk. But the point of J.J. Watt is that I have a passion for this. I have a gift. I could stand here and speak to you for the remainder of the day on things that just pop into my mind while I'm speaking. Some people have that, some people don't, but I elected to study public accounting in college and become a CPA, which I was not very good at and did not allow me to follow my passion at all. I should have been an actor, I should have been a preacher, I should have been the guy in the van down by the river doing motivational speeches. Instead, I was looking at folks' debits on the left and credits on the right. And so I managed to find other outlets in other ways, and I was fortunate to be able to channel some of this passion that I have in different ways, including being here with you today. But class of 2019, my encouragement to you is to follow your passion. Don't let your parents, don't let society, don't let folks push you into things that you're not passionate about because it's the right thing to do. The right thing, honestly, to do is what you love and what you enjoy. And if you do that, I do promise you it's not trite. If you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. The gong. I was unaware until this morning that the ceremony in which the class of 2019 banged the gong is a recent phenomenon, and it came out of a situation at Baldwin in the 1980s when there was some construction going on in the main residence, and the tradition of ringing the bell was not going to be able to be done because of the construction. So in that adversity, that Baldwin graduating class, as all smart Baldwin graduating classes would do, said we're not going to just let that take away from us something that we're excited and proud to do. We're going to think creatively and we're going to find a solution. And the solution was the gong, and today that tradition carries on. But I encourage you, class of 2019, not to let adversity set you back. You will face it. You will face it professionally, emotionally, socially. Adversity is a reality, but when you face it, please continue the Baldwin tradition. Stare it in the face, make the most out of it, overcome it, and let it make you stronger. Senior goggles. I was unaware of the concept of senior goggles until my daughter Madeline's graduation a few years back, but I came home the other day to find on our kitchen island the repository, as parents know, of all miscellanea that gets dumped there in the middle, and we have to kind of sort through and say, what is this? And I found a pen and ink drawing of some goggles with 2020 written in both of the eyes. And so I asked Campbell what this was, and she said, oh, Michaeli's class is clearly starting to put on their senior goggles. And I said, oh, really? And those senior goggles, for those of you who are out in the audience and haven't experienced this, is the time in the senior year where random acts of kindness begin to appear, and all slights, real or imagined, become forgotten. My ask, class of 2019, and the entire Baldwin community is we don't take those goggles off. We have them on as we sit here today, and I ask you to leave them on next week, next month, next year. So when that roommate, when that classmate, when that sister, Campbell, is annoying you beyond all belief, be kind. When Lower Marion Township decides that today would be a beautiful day to jackhammer the intersection of Morris and Montgomery, be kind. When that last parking spot in the Acme in Bryn Mawr is taken by that elderly gentleman in the oddly shaped car, be kind. I promise you, it'll make you feel better. It'll make everybody else feel better. So, as we leave here today, I apologize for the Jackson 5, but every time you hear the Jackson 5, I hope you'll remember my 3 things. J.J. Watt, follow your passion. I promise you'll be happy. The gong, don't shy away from adversity. Embrace it, conquer it. And senior goggles, kindness is contagious, be a carrier. Class of 2019, congratulations, and thank you all very much for listening to me.
Thank you, Chris. Your heartfelt words and remarkably on-point jokes were a really important message for us all. But thank you also for your steadfast commitment to our school. As a trustee for many years and as a board chair for the past year, we are grateful for the example of service and leadership that you give your daughters, their friends, and our entire community. And I so appreciate your partnership over the past 12 months. We have now reached the culmination of today's ceremony, where our girls officially become Baldwin graduates. As part of this special moment, the school has over time developed a tradition whereby trustees, faculty, and staff who have daughters graduating are invited to assist in the presentation of diplomas. Today, we have 2 seniors with parents in these categories. I invite those members of our community to please join me on stage at this time. I would also like to now introduce Dr. Ann Longley, our director of the upper school, to preside over the awarding of diplomas for Baldwin's class of 2019.
Thank you, Dr. Porges. Dr. Porges and Mr. Marr, having examined their records, I can attest that these seniors have fulfilled all the requirements of the Baldwin School and are now prepared to graduate. Will the class of 2019 please prepare for the awarding of diplomas? Zoya Akil Siddiqui. Alexa Rose DeSidu. Juliet Alice Paiva. Lauren Marie Bracken. Alyssa Xiao Liu. Nira Indigo Cote. Olivia Azara Steckman. Isaiah Cecilia Johnson. Alexandra Grant Phelan. Jane Bai. Simi Madeline Blesnak. Samantha Marie Bunnell. Destiny Amara Brown. Sarah Mae Bunn. Catherine Eleni Capola. Alyssa Sierra Chapman. Chongying Sui. Andrea Delzell Kohler. Georgia Carol Dom. Anisha Devas. Nadia Diane Dixon. Mariel Claire Doyle. Anushka Gid. Kaylee Niana Hopkinson. Delina Hannah Irgal. Helen G. Niara Johnson. Julia Ruth Kate. Tegan Jessica Crane. Relly Diane Ladner. Jingshi Li. Shuyu Li. McKaylee Elizabeth Marr. McKenna Grace Mattis. Jane Margaret McAleese. Alyssa Antoinette Morales. Maria Nguyen. Celia Avery Page. Sydney Taylor Parmet. Laura Cuenca Pelicano. Michaela Michelle Pratt. Erin Isla Roman. Alexandra Nicole Rose. Savannah Ann Sanford. Natalie Marie Scrow. Alexis Paige Schatzman. Jessica Jasheen Shen. Ming Shing Shu. Julia Eve Singer. Anjali Sukhavasi. Shauhan Soon. Ashley Taylor Tate. Cartier Antoinette Thomas. Lenora Arnell Thomas. Olivia Rose Tornetta. Taylor Sarita Trapp. Lila Rowe Tuckman. Sean Elena Tuckman. Isabella Jean Rapetti Tominski. Giovanna Valentina Vaccari. Shuyu Cho. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to present the class of 2019.
As we conclude our ceremony, I'm pleased that we get to share together one of Baldwin's most heartwarming traditions, the senior song. A custom wherein all of our seniors' creativity, unity, and sense of sisterhood comes together in a musical piece they compose themselves, this year under the guidance of two classmates who today will help conduct their performance. Our class of Purple did a remarkable job bringing their Baldwin experience to life in this song, whose words reflect their lasting memories over many years in Baldwin Blue and Gray, and the pride and strength that come from being Baldwin sisters. Please listen carefully to the words as they sing, while our girls paint a picture of their time together and honor their Baldwin legacy. It reminds us all why the Baldwin School is such a special place to call home. At this time, I invite the class of 2019 to stand and sing their senior song for the final time.
Walking through the gates, our time is finally here.
Please rise for the singing of Baldwin's alma mater. And remain standing at your seats at the conclusion until our graduates recess. Thank you all for joining us for today's 131st commencement for the Baldwin School. Please remain at your seats until all the graduates and faculty have recessed, and once again, congratulations to our class of 2019.